question is very much related to what we've been talking about. And the question is, how do you know when you're getting too comfortable being single? And we've heard this from multiple listeners from our community as well, who are so good at master dating, who are going through personal development, who love that me time. And then you get to a point where you think, am I just happier being alone? Am I too comfortable? So when do you think you're too comfortable being single? So I think being too comfortable being single, I've definitely been there where I was so happy being alone that the thought of having someone else in my life seemed like a burden or seemed like a nuisance or seemed like it would take away from my life. And I thought that was a red flag, was when you no longer can make space for someone else because you only want to make space for yourself. And I don't think it's not like, oh, once you get to that point, there's no going back. Of course there's going back, but that's when I think I hit that point of, all right, maybe now it's time to get myself back out there and start dating again, or to even get excited about the idea of dating. I have an awesome friend named Sonika who loves you, Julie, because she says you and her are so similar in your romantic ways. And she and I had dinner the other day, and she said, I really love being single and dating. And those were the things that she said. You know, it's two, they're part of the same family, single and dating. She loved that she can go meet different people and get to know them and explore and learn. But she also was so happy being not in a relationship either. So I thought she was in a really good spot. She was just like, I like dating. Dating still excites me. It's still fun. So I think when you don't think of dating as fun and you think of it as a burden, that's when you got to step back and think, okay, I got to like reset my mindset here.
I personally think the best time to meet someone is when you're comfortable being single.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like that's when you have your sense of self that's been baked, which is what we're going to talk all about in this episode. But I think that is the perfect time to let someone into your life. And I think it can sound daunting because you're like, everything's going well. Like, why do I need to switch it up? But I don't know, at least from my experience, I think when you meet the right person, you are in the place, like you just said, like that you're still open to meeting people. It's not like you're, like totally closed off. If you meet the right person, you're going to want to naturally make time for them. Like, I definitely saw that happen with myself. Like, before I met my current partner, like, I was like, I'm totally fine if this ends up being my life. Like, I feel good about my life. Like, I feel like I have enough, like, people in my life that care and love about me, even if it's not a romantic partner. But when I met that romantic partner, I wanted to make space for them because I really just liked to be with them. And I think that happens. And I like what you said of where is your headspace in this situation? Is it that you don't want to be with someone because you've gotten jaded and you've given up on people that you're trying to date? Or is it that you're just, doing self-love and getting to know yourself and finding love in all other places? Because I think those two mindsets are very, very different.
Absolutely. You don't want to do anything out of spite, and you don't want to do anything because of how the past has jaded you. So I think that's what the self-love comes in, is that it helps you heal from those past dating traumas and situations that jaded you. But being single is, I feel like being single and being in a relationship, all of it is a transitional period. We're always in a transitional period. So even when you're single, that's not like how you're going to be forever. And when you're in a relationship, a lot of times that's not how you're going to be forever either. So just constantly be open to the change and be open to know that here's my status today, but that could all change in the future. And I'm open to that change.
I think that's a really good point. Like, if you had talked to me like a couple months ago, I would have been like, I can't even imagine sharing a bed with someone at this state, because I've been like so used to being on my, like, not doing that for a while. And now I actually like find it easier to be asleep with someone there, which is like a total 180. And I think some of it is the fact that, like what you just said, it's just embracing that life is always in a constant state of flux. And what is good for you today might change totally. And if it's not changing for the better, that's when you can reevaluate, like, is this the right place for me? Like, if you found that, let's say you met someone and you were happier before being single, maybe that means that that's not the right person, or you actually do prefer to be single. And I think you can like kind of double click on that and be like, okay, what does this mean? But if you are now in a relationship and you're happier, that doesn't mean that like you weren't happy before. It's just a different type of happy.
Yes. And it shows how adaptable we are. Don't think that your state today is going to stay the same. They show that within 48 hours of entering a country, you can pick up the accent. 48 hours. So within 48 hours of having someone in your life, you can probably pick up on habits and then morph into a third person with that person. So just know that you are constantly absorbing the environment around you, and being single is just one of those temporary states.
Yeah, I think it's like another thing too is sometimes people maybe on the flip side complain about being single, right? Like, I hate being single. And the way I look at it is like there's good and bad of being in a relationship and being single in all stages of life. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine with kids and she's like, look, like there's times that I want to rip my head out. And then there's times I want to rip my hair out. And then there's other times that I'm like, I'm so lucky to have this amazing family. And I think that's really how all of it is. Like, being single, like if you look at it, you're like, I have the ultimate freedom. I can do what I want. I can make more time for like my friends and family and other people that aren't necessarily a romantic partner. I have more me time, downtime, all the stuff. But then when you're in a relationship, there's the positive of like having that person, that partner that you can do things with, your confidant, like all that stuff. So I think there's pros and cons to every stage. And I personally would rather fixate on the pros of each stage than be like dwelling in the cons, because like while you are single, you might as well enjoy the stuff that might not be as readily available. Like, you might not have like an hour to go watch some random ass TV show when you have children. Like, it just might not be the same thing. So it's like you might as well enjoy that in that stage of life and know that it might not be forever. It probably won't be forever.
Yeah, very well said. Take advantage of your time right now, because you might not have that time back for a while.